This isn't fun to talk about. I'm going to be real with y'all. We got some conference realignment chatter. It's just that right now. It's just chatter because Colorado moved to the Big 12 and Florida State's been flirting with it for forever. So we got to kind of give you our thoughts and predictions when it comes to conference realignment. Because the report that came out was Oregon and Washington. There's some smoke around them in the Big 10 and potentially adding there. I'll start with predictions, then I'll get to my thoughts. I'm predicting that Florida State is going to want to go to the Big 10. We'll see what happens there. If the Big 10 will take them, I bet they go there. If not, I bet they end up in the SEC. The bottom line, they will not end up in the ACC. And this is a prediction right now, I guess, by definition, but we're all on the same page here. Florida State will not be in the ACC for an extended period of time. And everyone wants to tell me how much that this is, the grant of rights and how the lawyers have made it ironclad and how there's so much going into this. Like it's so concrete and rock solid and locked down. They can't leave the ACC for X number of years. They said the same thing when the Big 12 expanded. They said the same thing about Oklahoma and Texas leaving early for the SEC. So until something gets finalized that they can't go to the SEC or the Big 10, they're leaving the ACC. So that's not really a bold prediction by any stretch of the imagination. You hear what I'm saying? They are leaving. When? Who knows? I bet it's sooner rather than later because of all the tectonic plates shifting within college football. I also think that wherever Florida State goes, Clemson's going with them. Because right now, to keep it a buck, we all understand this, Clemson and Florida State are paying rent in the ACC, not just for themselves, for everybody involved. They are the breadwinners. They bring home the majority of the pie, and they take home a smaller slice. No way for that to be sustainable, especially not in today's modern college football where teams are making buku money. All right? Now, Oregon and Washington is the next school I want to talk about, the next two schools I want to talk about. There's a lot of smoke around them going to the Big Ten. And honestly, don't you think it's a little bit funny? There's smoke around Florida State and where they could go, and then the Big Ten, and this report comes out about them grabbing Oregon and Washington. So maybe there's more smoke that we're not getting wind of to Florida State and the SEC, but we'll see what happens there. Oregon and Washington, they're not staying in the Pac-12. Same situation that Clemson and Florida State are in the ACC is the same for Oregon and Washington. They're bringing too much in. They're not making enough. Even more so, probably more importantly, they can make much more being in the Big Ten. And in the name of what college football is right now, it is about bringing home the greenbacks. It is about having resources. Oregon, very well resourced. They would be a big add to the Big Ten. Washington, whole Seattle market. You understand what I'm saying here. The fit is evident. The fit is there. And with that happening, I also think the smoke around the four corner schools being in the Big 12, that being Colorado, who's already there, Utah, Arizona State, I think they all end up joining that. Okay, so my predictions are those. Florida State and Clemson, they're leaving the ACC. I'm keeping an eye on the SEC, but if they can go to the Big Ten, they will go to the Big Ten because that's a bigger payday. Same thing for Oregon and Washington. I think there's smoke. There's probably fire there. Oregon and Washington to the Big Ten makes a lot of sense. Put me down as a prediction for that. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you follow me on Twitter and Instagram at JD Paquel. I'm not asking you anything more than that. So thank you in advance. So here's my thoughts on this, man. Don't tap me on the shoulder until we get something real. Because the room is so small and there's so many powerful people with money and influence, and it's there's a lot of narrative control going on right now. I don't like hearing there's smoke around this school to this conference and this school to that conference. I'm here for it. I understand that we got to talk about it, and I appreciate everybody keeping us in the know. But things tend to change so quickly within the conference realignment conversation. And I'd be more about this, honestly, if we were here in March and this was what we were talking about. And it's hey, great college football season, tectonic plate shifting, though. Let's unpack it. It's not the thing, though. We're 23 days away from week 0 of the college football season, man. I'm trying to sit down and watch a movie. I don't want you blowing up my phone and telling me that you're going on vacation somewhere. That's cool. We'll talk about it when you get back. Talk about it when you actually have the flight booked, when we have something final. I don't want to hear about what might happen, what could happen. Just tell me when it's going to happen, all right? Tell me when something is solidified, signed, sealed, delivered, then let's break it down. Because you and I, we're the same way. We're college football fans, man. We're not realignment fans, right? We have to deal with realignment. Realignment's a real thing, and I understand there are people that make a lot of money, and there's a lot of money going into the sport, so I understand it, I respect it, but it's not what we care about. It's not what we get up on Saturday for. I don't turn on College Game Day on Saturday morning and say, man, I hope there's realignment news today. No, I want to see what they're picking with my team. That's it. And that's the same way I feel right now. To be real, I don't know that there is anything with realignment that lights my fire, you know? And I think you're kind of the same way. So until something gets solidified, I'm going to be slow to trust. Because Oklahoma and Texas, it was a done deal. It was reported, hey, they are not going to the SEC early. We came down to this very studio, looked in that camera, said, hey, what we're hearing, they're not going to the SEC early. Sorry about it. That's the way this thing is rolling. Wouldn't you know it? A week later, report comes out, hey, good news, they're going to the SEC early. That's very convenient, isn't it? That is very convenient how quickly that news shifted. So what I'm saying is nothing is concrete until it is, and until we get something concrete, then we can really unpack this. Then we can have a little bit more back and forth conversation, get excited about what it means for college football. Or I guess for some of us, be unexcited about what it means for college football. But we're 23 days away. Let's lock in. Realignment. Let me know when we're actually getting something here concrete getting done, all right? It sounds naive. It sounds a little bit maybe even irresponsible. Not that we're not paying attention to this, but even so, man, college football, this season, that has our attention right now. So when there's something concrete, let us know. Hey, y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.